if in your focused life, your physical body is feeling sick, there is a proportionate wellness that is queuing up, coming into focus at the same time. These words, coming into focus, are the words that we most want you to pay attention to as we're moving forward, because this means every time as you're moving through life and exploring and identifying things that could be better, even though you may still be focused upon the problem of what's going wrong, there is a solution that is coming into focus too. A solution that, while you don't have access to it while you're focused on the problem, and while you shouldn't have access to it while you're focused on the problem, because step one is an important part of the 3-step equation for creation. Step one is asking, and it requires some poking around in some problematic places in order for the question to occur. In other words, there is a question and an answer, and they are different vibrational frequencies, but they are the byproduct of your exposure to life experience. Can you hear that? When your question comes into focus, so does your answer. And when your problem comes into focus, so does your solution. When your illness comes into focus, so does your wellness. And when your lack of whatever you want comes into focus, so does the abundance of it come into focus. But the question is, where is your vibration? Are you in a place where you can let the solution, the abundance, the wellness, the clarity, the stamina, the vitality, can you right here, right now, let it come into focus? And the answer to that question is, you could if you were not beating the drum of the problem to death. In other words, there is a tendency that you have picked up along your physical trail to poke around at the problem for an inordinate amount of time. And the reason that you do, usually, we watch Esther, even with all that she has heard from us, she sometimes pokes at the problem longer because the problem feels like such a problem that it seems like it's worth the effort of defining where it came from and who is the fault of it. And if she pokes long enough, she can sometimes even come into a somewhat satisfying while problematic point of view of justifying why the problem even exists. And what we would like you to realize is that all of that is fine. And you really can do no wrong, because poking at the problem is poking at a solution. The question we just want to put to you is, you have to make a decision when it is no longer of value to you to grow the problem and the solution. We'll state that better. You have to decide, has the solution gotten big enough for me now because of my attention to the problem that I'm ready to attempt to orient myself in the direction of the solution? Or would I like a bigger problem and therefore a bigger solution? Seriously. Because any way you play it works out great for us. You poke around and poke around and poke around it, and improvements come, improvements come, improvements come, and in many cases, it is future generation who will benefit from the problems you all are poking around at. But you sound like you'd like some of the solutions in your time-space reality. You sound as if you would like to reap some of the benefit of your creative endeavor. We're here in what we are calling this law of attraction-based universe and a law of attraction-based workshop, pointing it in the direction of the art of allowing, which is what step 3 of this 3-step process is. Step 1 is poke around at the problem. And step 2 is the solution is born. Source is right there, shining a light on it and holding it steady for you. Step 3 is you got to become a vibrational match to the solution if you are to live it in the way that we know you want to. For you, most of you, out here on this leading edge, this fantastic leading edge of creation, you like manifestations. You're hooked on seeing stuff and smelling stuff and hearing stuff and tasting it and feeling it. You like this tactile, leading edge, creative environment that we are all a part of, that you are fantastically immersed in. You like this manifestation stuff. And while you didn't come necessarily for the manifestation, It is necessary to be involved in this leading edge manifesting world in order to really, really, really keep up to speed with who life has caused you to become. But we want to wrap this whole picture together in a way that you will finally get it, that you have come forth not to fix a broken world, but to be a catalyst for its never-ending eternal expansion. And then we say, but you don't need to be focused upon the expansion, because the expansion is going to be a byproduct of your exposure to life. So then you might ask, we like it when you do, well, if I've come forth with great purpose, and my great purpose is not expansion, because expansion's going to come whether I know that it's coming or not. I'm just going to blunder into expansion because contrast is just going to suck expansion through me. Then tell me again, why am I important to this mix? And we say, because you wanted the thrill of you getting to focus. You wanted the thrill of you getting to define the details of the expansion. And because you wanted to feel the exhilaration of focusing in a way that the energy that creates worlds flows through you. In other words, you came for the joy of it. You came for the thrill of it. That's what we're all in this eternal experience for. Now, there's some very good news that most humans are not very keenly aware of or focused upon or tuned into. And that is that in every moment that you are experiencing life, you are causing an expansion, and the larger part of you is expanding. In other words, you cannot look for a moment at something unwanted without an equivalent desire emanating from you in a vibrational pattern. And as it emanates from you, the larger part of you, who is vibration, complete vibration, receives the information of request and gives undivided attention then to the prosperity that you are asking for, or to the improved bodily conditions that you ask for. Let's take it to a place that you can understand even a little more clearly. This is true of every consciousness. And your body is made up of trillions of cells who are made up of consciousness. So maybe you ingest something, maybe you're exposed to something, maybe it's a bacteria, maybe it's a fungus, maybe it's what you would call a germ, maybe it's what you would call a disease, maybe it's what you would call a substance that your body is not good at acclimating to, maybe you ate something disagreeable, couldn't tell by reading the label because none of that makes sense anymore. You ingested something that your body was not accustomed to and didn't really want, and so some cells in your body immediately got out of whack. You know what it's like to take a negative hit? So some cells in your body got a little out of whack, but in the moment of their perception of imbalance, they ask for balance in that moment. Trillions of consciousness within your body asking for improvement in the moment of awareness that something got a little off. And in the moment that this happened, whether it's a one-celled organism or many cells in communication in your body, when that cellular request happened, in other words, your cells took the bounce, know what they don't want, know what they do want. In the moment that that request is set forth, the non-physical part of you, the energy that creates worlds, begins flowing in response to that request, and an immediate balance occurs. Immediate, instant manifestation. This is happening in your body all day long, every day. You don't even know how well this factory, this vibrationally based consciousness factory called your physical cellular body, is coming into balance all day, all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. But then let's say you got something you're mad about or worried about or pushing about. So you've been in this sort of problematic mode for a while where you're really poking around at the problem, even though solutions are framing up for you and happening. And as you, as the captain of this cellular ship, are focused in this negative way where the predominant emotion within you is one of worry or anger, you cause a vibrational resistance in the communication of this vibrational body that is yours. And even though your cells know exactly what they want and need and are asking from a place that they can be answered exactly, you're in the way. And we call that resistance. We call it resistance, and you know when you're doing it because negative emotion is present. Negative emotion is present at first. If you keep it up, the negative emotion gets stronger. If you keep it up, you begin to feel physical sensations. And if you keep it up longer, then your physical body begins to be labeled in medical terms with all kinds of diagnoses that are nothing more than indications of resistance. And resistance is only a problem to you because it prevents communication between who you or part of you, we're talking about the cellular part of you, has become. But before any of this can make sense to you and before you can benefit personally by any of it, the first thing you have to do is accept that you are first and foremost a vibrational being. That you are vibration more than anything else. And that even in this tactile physical body that you've come to know and love and embrace and know as you are an interpreter of vibration, and that's why you exist as you do in your physical form. You are interpreting the vibrational beingness into this physical becomingness. And you have the ability to focus your mind as you did before you came into this physical body. You have the ability to continue to create magnificently. But most humans don't. Most humans observe what is, and because they observe what is, they are offering a vibration of what is. And as they offer a vibration of what is, then they create more of what is. Even though they would like something different, their attention, for the most part, is so fixated on what is. Because you have come to believe so much in this reality that is, that you want to talk about it, you want to justify it, you want to explain it, you want to document it historically, you want to build monuments about it, you want to take high points, especially the negative ones, and teach them to your children in school. You want to activate everything that's ever happened to you that was big, and most of it was negative if you remember it, and you want to teach it to your children because you have forgotten the most important thing. You have forgotten that what you focus upon equals your point of attraction, and your point of attraction equals your life. So, meanwhile, through all of this, as you are societies focused upon problems, you are producing solutions like crazy. And future generations are all queued up, eager to come forth to reap the benefit of the solutions that you are putting into this vortex of creation. Meanwhile, most humans are so fixated on reality and not even aware of this vibrational reality that the whole of source energy and this whole of future generations are focused upon. Can't you see it in those new little ones when they get here? Can't you feel their eagerness? Can't you feel their confidence? Can't you feel their knowing? Can't you feel their gladness about being in this body and their eagerness at setting their mind toward the creation of their own life experience? And don't you feel their immediate balking at you when you say to them, well, there are a few things we need to tell you about this planet. It's not safe. It's probably not going to last very long. We're already spending your inheritance, and you're going to have to pay the big debt of everything that we're spending now. Our bodies are breaking down, and our planet is in peril. And I want you to be really, really good, which means I want you to do what makes me smile and feel good. So use me as your indicator of how well you're doing. If I'm smiling, keep doing it. And if I'm not smiling, stop it immediately and trust completely in me. I've beaten my life into a very unpleasant pile, and I want to teach you how to do exactly the same thing. But the little ones coming forth, they don't hear it that way. They hear you saying blah, 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 because life experience is what teaches them. It's not your words. So when they see you and you're not happy, they don't want to mimic that. They're always gravitating toward what feels better because they still have within them an active awareness of who they really are. In other words, they have not yet, especially in those early years, trained themselves away from their natural vibrational frequency. But most adults have trained themselves away from their natural vibrational frequency. This Art of Allowing workshop is a workshop where we're going to encourage you and show you how to train yourself back into your natural vibrational frequency. Because we understand who you are and why you've come and what you want, and we know so clearly what you have put piece by piece by piece by piece into your vortex of creation. We know what's there for you.